how to make a chainsaw Tiki backyard bar sign. Now this year we had a severe winter and a bunch of pilings were pulled out and they ended up washing up out in the marsh. So whenever I found one, I was able to create a Tiki out of it. I use a chainsaw as well as an angle grinder with a flap sanding wheel and also a wood cutting wheel on it. The project always starts by drawing out the basic design that you want. I just used a black magic marker. And then I use a chainsaw to carve the outline of each feature, whether it be the eyes or the eyebrows or the crown on the Tiki, etc. And I'm not going all that deep, somewhere in a 1/2 inch to 1 inch range. I can always go back again and create a little bit more depth. Now this particular Tiki is going to a friend's house out east. He's going to use it next to his outdoor bar, and it's going to be holding a sign. You'll see the finished product at the end. So here I'm just outlining the mouth area. For some of it, I have a stand that I can stand this thing up on, and at other times it's just easier to lay it down on the ground. For the outlining, I'm just using a electric chainsaw, a small one. I think it's a 14 inch. But for the deeper cuts, I have a 16 inch gas-powered chainsaw that makes the cutting a little bit easier. Now I'm fairly new at this. I've done a 6 of them or so. I just outline and then I carefully, slowly carve away whatever material has to be carved away. I'm sure there's faster ways of doing this, but I'm just showing you basically how I do it. So now I'm just going to start to grind away, and I'm just using a light touch with the chainsaw and kind of moving back and forth. Instead of cutting, just a groove, I'm going back and forth and kind of milling away the surface. It really doesn't take all that long to remove material. This is the area underneath the nose, between the nose and the beginning of the lips. And again, you'll see all of a sudden I can create that depth pretty quickly just by milling, going from side to side with a very light touch with that chainsaw. You see that little side-to-side motion. And now I'm going to start to remove some material underneath the mouth, underneath the bottom lip. It's actually a fun little project. Whenever you're working with pressure-treated, and this piling is pressure-treated wood, you really have to wear a respirator. You don't want to be breathing in any of this sawdust. Now to remove larger chunks of material, I made some horizontal grooves, and then I'm just going to remove those. I'm just going to cut into each groove and remove little chunks. And none of this is really difficult. It just takes a little bit of time. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. You can. Most of the work that I do, I have 10 or 15 minutes or a half hour after work. I'll go out and play around for a half an hour. Then the next good day that I have, I'll go out and put a little bit more time. This is now using an angle grinder. This is a wood cutting wheel. These things remove material very quickly. You do have to be careful with them. Always have 2 hands on that grinder because if it does catch, it will pull and jerk. And if this hits your hand or hits your skin, it will eat into it right down to the bone very quickly. So just a heads up, be very careful. If you're using 2 hands on it, you have a little bit of control and it's not a problem, but just be careful. I'm saying that from experience, by the way. But it is a great tool for removing a lot of material quickly. So I'm creating some depth. I'm fine-tuning the details, around the curve of the nose. Now I've gone back to that electric chainsaw, and I'm just going to cut the outline, the inside of the mouth, the lips, inside diameter of the lips. And then I'll go to the angle grinder with that wood cutting wheel on it, just to do some rough shaping on the teeth. And you could take this as far as you want. After the wood grinding wheel, you can put a flap sanding wheel in that disc grinder, and then after that, you can use an oscillating sander with a 120 grit. The material itself, this pressure treated wood, is not the best material to work with as far as sanding it to an absolute smooth finish. But for an outdoor tiki, it's absolutely fine. Now I'm just going to cut the grooves for the teeth. And you could do this with a Dremel grinder with a cutoff wheel, or you could do it with the chainsaw. For this one, I'm just going to have a slit for the eye. Now I'm going to use a little Dremel grinder to create a little bit more of a design on the crown. Now this is, as I mentioned before, this is going to hold the sign. For the sign, I used a PVC board, a piece of scrap that I had. I painted it gray, a gray background to match my friend's gray bar area, the Trex on his deck, etc. And I cut out some self-adhesive black vinyl to create the letters. I just did that with a scissor. And now I poured on a 2-part epoxy from TotalBoat.com called their Makerpoxy. It's very easy to work with. Mix it up for about 5 minutes slowly. Paint it on. I use a little butane torch just to warm it up so that any bubbles caught in the mix will reach the surface and dissipate. I just basically screwed on a couple of arms onto the tiki to illustrate or to show that it's holding that sign. And then my friend will dig this into the ground and mount it by his backyard bar. I also cut out some feet at the bottom of the tiki. This is the finished product. Thank you very much for watching.